Hey, everybody, welcome back to the CBD Business Accelerator and CBD Business Success. We got an amazing entrepreneur on today and one of my favorite softwares that I use every single day that he created. So, Arnie Giske, he's from the millennial entrepreneur community and also Facebook groups for business. Thanks for joining us, Arnie.
Yeah, man, excited to be on. It'll be cool to talk to you guys about communities and how you can leverage them to keep doing your thing and go bigger.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, because we were just talking before we started the call, or the recording, how hard it is for CBD brands to get out there and advertise. And one of the best ways to do that is through groups if you do it the right way. And that's why we have you on today, because there's nobody better at building a group than you, in my opinion.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I've bought your courses and I've gone through your information, and it's really helped me build CBD Business Success, which we're on today. So thank you.
Yep.
It's
Definitely. Always good to see people that take what we've got and take action on it. So always a reminder for everybody listening: we're not here to entertain you guys. We're here to help you and change your business, change your audience, change your marketing, change your lives, change your customers' lives. So they'll just put this on in the background. Take some notes, get ready to take some action, guys.
Love it. That's what I was going to say too. You're not about fluff, is one thing I like about you. You just give people the real deal information that they can go and execute on. That's what I like about you. You're honestly one of my favorite entrepreneurs, man. And I've been following you since you had a day job years ago, and then you transitioned out of that, and now you're crushing it. So it's been so cool to watch your journey. You're a working class guy like me that happened to figure out entrepreneurship, and now you're crushing it. So it's really been fun watching that, man.
Yeah, 100%. And I know we'll talk a bunch about it today, but really all of that came down to community, which is what I've been, so grateful to help a lot of people build in their businesses and their brands. At the end of the day, it's the people, it's the people at your side, it's your team, it's your communities, your audiences, your customers. That's what powers everything. So the more you understand those dynamics, the more you can apply that to not only Facebook groups, but just people and communities in general.
I love that, man. That's one of the methods my partner Paul Booth came up with, is audience message product. And so many CBD brands, they start with the product and they don't think about the audience. They're getting it backwards. And you have to start with the audience first and nail that first. And so I know you're all about that as well.
100%. Yeah.
So yeah, Arnie, if you don't mind, tell us about your background and what got you into being an entrepreneur and where you're at today and things like that.
Yeah, so I'll give you guys a quick rundown. So basically back when I got out of college, I got into a couple of things. One, I was riding those pedicabs, those three-wheeled bikes where you give people rides for $20 living out in Seattle. And that was fun as hell. I had such a good time. And I learned a ton, because you gotta pitch 50 people to get one yes. So, you're out there hustling, you're on the street trying to get rides. And so I learned a ton there, but I knew obviously I can't scale that up unless I buy a bunch of pedicabs or something. So I wanted to have, some kind of new opportunity. So after I got out of college, that's when I actually got into insurance for a little bit. And I joined one of those MLMs, ended up not being a good one, but really, that experience taught me a ton as well. And it's the complete polar opposite of, hey, do you want to pay me $20 and I'll take you back to your car, to, hey, do you want to sign up for this life insurance policy that you're going to pay for the rest of your life? Like completely different sales environment. So I learned a bunch there. But really that kind of sharpened the sword for the entrepreneur mindset. And after I left the insurance space, I thought, wow, I really learned a bunch. I want to be able to document and share some of this stuff. So that's what brought me into online business. I started Googling, how do I start a blog? How do I make a website? How do I do email marketing? All those things that were like the foundation of my, internet marketing skills back in like 2015, 2016 that I still use today. So all those, new moves that you make, you get to build on that over time. After that, I got more into brokering services. So if people wanted website, social media marketing, mobile app, things like that, I had some partners that could fulfill on it. And I went out and, hit the streets, help get them some deals done and make a few bucks there. A lot of me doing that came from being active in other people's communities. And then I ended up starting my own Facebook groups, which ended up turning into its own whole beast, and businesses and brands and softwares and all kinds of stuff on its own later. So it's been a wild ride, and yeah, it's just all been powered by community.
I love it, man. And nobody ever talks about the beginnings and how they had to learn all this stuff. It's like they just come in and you just assume, oh, they are all knew all this marketing stuff already. But obviously you had to dig in and do the work and learn how to be a real marketer, and you're crushing. And so it's just so cool to know that you didn't know all this stuff. You had to go in and do the work and learn it. And that's what I always tell my people in my groups. You got to hustle, man, and you got to dig in and get the information. And relationships are so important. And like, you were utilizing your friends' services, and that you trusted, and you were making money because of those relationships. So it's so important to be connected. And I highly recommend everybody watching to join Arnie's Facebook group, Millennial Entrepreneur Community. I've been in there for probably like 2-3 years. And I'm not even a millennial, but Arnie lets me in there anyway.
Yeah, we don't discriminate.
Yeah, most of my partners are like way younger than me. I'm 46, but my partners are 25, 27, 30. So they're all millennials. I'm used to working with millennials, and it's impressive, man. These young guys that are really going for it in the entrepreneur space and crypto space. And like one of my buddies, he was bagging groceries 18 months ago, and now he's making millions of dollars online. It's crazy.
Yep.
So if you can harness all this and make the right relationships, that's what it's all about. So definitely join Arnie's Facebook group. And speaking of groups, like if you were a CBD brand and you were a startup and you didn't have millions of dollars to, pay for marketing and all that, what would you do as far as like creating a Facebook group and using that to attract customers? Like if it was your brand and you were just starting out?
Yeah. So kind of like you said, it all starts with audience, not product. So if for example, let's say you got a CBD product that's geared towards stressed out moms or something like that, right? And your branding, it speaks to that. That's a lot of your customers. That's a lot of your reviews, things like that. Then you're going to want to have that angle of, okay, maybe I should start a moms group. Or maybe I can partner with somebody who already has a mom's group, or maybe I can go and buy one of these groups that might not be as active, or the leadership just doesn't want it anymore. There's a lot of ways to get in with groups, and doesn't mean that you have to start from scratch. You can definitely partner. You can definitely buy people's groups, which will definitely speed things up. But when you start it fresh from zero, you get that real first crack at creating that community, that culture, having who you want in there. So you have a lot more control on it when you start fresh. So for that reason, I usually recommend people start their own, but acquiring them can definitely work too.
Yeah, my buddy, one of my partners, Kyle Malian, he purchased an entrepreneur group recently that had like 70,000 followers in it, and he's getting a lot of leads and traction from that group. So it's Facebook terms, I guess, but we won't tell Facebook about that.
Yeah. My team helps run that group for him.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that. That's all. Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, I did know that. I forgot he hired you for that. Yeah. So and everybody that's watching, follow Kyle Malian on Facebook. He's got some of the best gold posts I've ever seen.
Yes, super smart guy for sure. And yeah, that was a cool, experiment in progress of acquiring a group, because it is very different than just starting fresh, because the people don't know you yet. You got to really like show up and prove your value, and keep the right people around, and then deter the wrong people.
Love it. And I like what you said about you're echoing. Me and Paul constantly say audience, 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 and you're echoing my sentiments. You have to niche it down. There's over 6,000 CBD brands. So if like in 2016, when I had my brand Hemp Logica, I had launched CBD. What was the I can't remember. It was just a generic group like CBD oil forum or something like that. CBD oil users forum. And back then you could do stuff like that. And I was getting tons of sales and traction off of it. But now you have to be much more focused on an audience because of the fact there's 6,000 brands. There was probably like 60 brands in 2016. So that's what it's all about, really dialing in your audience and then giving them value and buy Arnie's programs because they are gold, people. And you could charge way more too for your programs on like building groups. And what is the website for the audience to check out the programs that you offer?
Yeah, so probably the best place to start is you guys can get my book, and it's only $7. It's groupsforprofit.com/ebook. And that's my book, 7 Steps to Monetize a Group. Once again, like Matt says, it's not fluff. I really break it all down for you guys. You can take that and you can run with it. You can take that and you can look at other ways to get support with us from software and things like that. But really, if you understand that whole process of those 7 steps and how it fits together, you're going to understand. One of the funniest things about me is, a lot of people think of me as a Facebook groups guy. You'll see that like the first 2 steps are around the group and the other 5 are around messaging, audience, conversion, follow-ups. That's really what's going to power you guys here. It's the group is just one slice of the puzzle that can help you generate a ton of leads, audience members, engagement. But if you don't have those conversion mechanisms in place, if you don't have that messaging down, you're not going to make it work.
Yeah, and that's where it comes down to like giving the valuable content to your audience, where maybe it's ebooks or recordings, and then getting them on subscription and things like that. And the only way to do that is to build a community. Like my partner Paul said the other day, he's like, you want to read books on how to build a cult? And I started laughing at him and he goes, no, I'm serious, man. Get books on how to build a cult. Because that's basically what it is. You're building a cult, like the Raiders or the Bears or any sports team. They have cult-like fans that will fight. Like, so really? Yeah, especially the Raiders fans. But yeah, so it's like you want to build that tribe, and the only way to do that is to provide value. Like one of my favorite people is Mark Sisson. He owns marksdailyapple.com. It's a paleo website. He gives so much free content and value out that when he puts a book out, you just want to buy it because he's giving you so much free stuff. And then actually the book is just a prettier version of everything he gave away for free anyway. But I'm not mad at that either. I'm like, great, I supported it, So I think that's the important part. And like if you started a new group, what's the best way to get new people into the group? Like one of the best ways that I did when I started CBD Business Success, I already had a lot of people on my Facebook that were friends of mine that were in the CBD industry. 2 days in a row, probably 3 hours each day, I took my phone and sent videos to each person, like not when they were directed towards that person, not just some generic video. And for 3 hours each day, I sent those out and I asked them to join and to share with their friends. Within like a week, I had like 1,000 members or something like that. And so that's one method I think works really well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, love the personalization. That's also going to have people coming into the group a lot more excited. They're like, oh, wow, I got a personal invite. That's awesome. And some other ways to get you going started. There's two main ways of growth is the organic and the paid. So for the organic, what you guys want to look at first is what I call the spider web of group growth. So imagine every single online platform you have is a part of your spider web. So that's all little spots of real estate where you can promote your group. So you guys probably have an Instagram. You guys probably have, an email list. You guys probably have a website. You guys probably have a couple other places that you post content or that you have posted content and that you have followers, right? So the spider web is making sure that all of those places point back to your group, because much like SEO backlinks, your online presence can be a backlink into your group. And when you're consistent there with having a couple of different places kind of filling it up, it's going to go a lot faster. So the key part there is having 2 types of content. One is going to be static content. So that might be a button on your website that says join the community, or something in your email footer that says make sure you're in the Facebook group. And then the more active content, which is more like, hey guys, we just did this interview with Arnie this week. Make sure you come join the group. So you're actively promoting it. So you have those 2 things going for you. Now, here's where the real growth turns on with Facebook groups that beats pretty much every other social channel in terms of organic growth. Facebook loves suggesting active groups. All right. There's no way I would have grown my group to like 80,000 members without Facebook suggesting a ton of them for me. I didn't have to go out and spend $1 million on ads. I didn't have to go out and send personal video messages to 80,000 people, you know. When there's activity in the group, Facebook goes, oh, wow, this group is engaged. Let's share it with other like-minded people or their mutual friends or people with similar interests. And that's what creates this snowball. So this growth happens, then more engagement happens, then more growth happens. And that's what can really create this crazy curve of group growth. Now, that usually doesn't happen until you hit about 500 to 1,000 members. So that first 500 to 1,000 is where you really got to hustle. Most groups die off before that. So you got to stay consistent.
That's awesome, man. And to everybody watching, you know, we're all in the CBD industry. I would recommend not making it about CBD. Make it about your audience, and don't put CBD in the title, because I swear every now and then Facebook like shadow bans me or something, and I'll stop getting new members for like a month. I'll get like 5 new members a day, and then it turns back on and I'm getting like 40, 50 new members a day. And I think it's because I'm a CBD group, but I can't confirm that, but I think so.
Yeah.
And even like, I notice if I put CBD in a post in the group, it doesn't get as much engagement as if I don't put CBD in the post. So
yeah. So I'll show you one other cool thing about the group growth algorithm, how it works. So it's very similar to YouTube. So what YouTube does is, you know, let's say you put a video on YouTube, YouTube's gonna first show that video to more of your subscribers and more people that aren't subscribed. And depending on how those people engage or not, how much of the video they watch, if they comment, if they like, if they subscribe, all that kind of gives it a score. So if, let's say out of 100 people, you have, you know, a good percent of them actively engaging, finishing the video, then they go, oh, this is a good video based on the data. We're going to share this with more people. So it works the same way with Facebook groups, where you're going to have these spikes and stalled out growth sometimes based on that. So Facebook will be like, all right, you know, let's suggest Matt's group out to, you know, this many new people this month, and see how many people click on the title, how many people actually show up and engage. And if those engagement numbers are good, that keeps the growth going.
gotcha. Yeah. So it seems like right now where I'm at with my group, I need to ramp the content up, get more engagement going, and pay more attention, because I got a bunch of projects going. You know how it is. I know you do too. So It's like you have to prioritize your group, people, if you want to keep the momentum going, because if you let it slack, you will stop getting new members. Like I've seen it. And another thing, Arnie built a software called Group Funnels, and it's literally, I love simple things. I think the most simple things are the most powerful things in life. And Group Funnels is a very simple software, but with that being said, it's very powerful at the same time. And honestly, my morning routine, I wake up, I do my meditation, and I work out, and then I sit down on my computer, and the first thing I do is go to my group and go to Group Funnels and add my members every morning.
I made it to the morning routine. Awesome.
Oh yeah, it never stops, because you know it's fun. You want to, oh, I got 50 new members today, and it's just, I love hitting that upload button and getting it on my spreadsheet and getting the emails and all that. So it's so valuable. Like,
yeah,
I assumed when I started my group, I was asking the questions and I was getting emails, and I assumed Facebook was holding those somewhere. And my friend was like, no, man. And then thank God I found your software.
Yeah. So for anybody who hasn't heard about it or doesn't know how this works, basically, as a group owner, you have the opportunity to ask new members 3 questions. So you can ask them, hey, what's your favorite color? You can ask them, hey, you can ask them whatever you want. But you can also ask them for their email address. So when that feature got released, marketers were like, ooh, free email list growth. That's incredible, you know, because otherwise you're going to have to pay sometimes upwards of $5 to get a new email lead into your system. Yeah. But like you said, if you're getting 50 members a day, and each one of those leads is a $5 value, you're essentially saving $250 a day on advertising just by capturing those emails, right?
It's massive. Yeah. And out of 50 people, probably 35 will give their email or so, somewhere around there. So it's so valuable, man.
Yeah. So it's so cool that that's a possibility. And then the problem popped up that, like you said, Facebook doesn't save those answers for you. As soon as you hit approve, they disappear, because in their mind, it's only there for you to make a decision whether or not to admit someone to the group. It's not for you to keep that data. So basically I was hitting the same problem. And at the time, I think my group was like 30 something thousand. I was bleeding emails. I wasn't saving them. I wasn't, having an assistant collect them or anything. And it was actually one of my other clients reached out and he said, hey, I got this thing and it kind of works right now, but I think you'd really like it. And I was like, all right, let's check it out. And he made a prototype of this that saved all of those answers and emails. And he pretty much told me, hey, I'm going to do this with or without you, but I think it would be a no brainer if we partnered up. And so we did it. We said, all right, we're going to do a beta round of this and we're going to have 100 spots in the beta round. Anybody who buys it now gets a lifetime license, $97. Just to kind of prove it, say, hey, if you like it, if this sounds cool, helpful to you, throw down $100 and we'll get you sorted.
I think I got in on that because I'm sure I'm one of the betas.
Yep. So we sold that out in 3 days. Completely brand new product, brand new idea, barely even functioning beta software. And as soon as that happened, we're like, okay, this thing's got some legs. Like, let's keep it going.
Thousands of members by now.
Yeah, and I think we're over like 3,000 clients. But my favorite stat of all of this is we've helped approve over 15 million people into Facebook groups.
All that's awesome.
Yeah. So every time it goes through, we got a little counter going. And that means let's see if that's 15 million people. Let's run the math real quick. Let's say even half of them leave an email. So that's 7.5 million people. Let's say each one of those is a $5 lead. That means we've saved our clients $37 million in advertising.
I love it, man. And I have like 15,000 emails now because of the software, and I promote other products and services to that email list. So yeah, I've made a lot of money thanks to you, Arnie.
Yep. Yeah, like you said, my favorite thing about it is how simple it is. Like we never wanted to build some giant fancy CRM that, takes a Harvard grad to figure out how to operate. It's like plug the thing in, get the emails, put it on your email list.
Dude, I'm the least picky person in the world. I'm old school. I know how to use it easily. So yeah, it's like if I can do it, anybody can do it. And if you were a CBD brand and you had group funnels set up, and what would be the 3 main questions you would ask? I know number 1 would be email.
Yep. Yeah. So I would say it kind of depends on your goals with it. So a lot of people like to do like research questions. So could be something around the lines of, what made you join this group? Or have you tried CBD products before? Or, different things that just kind of like start that conversation a little bit and help you get better insights on your members, especially when you're looking at, okay, are the people coming in actually the people I want in this group? If not, then you might have to change around some of the messaging. Like I said, if you got a CBD product for stressed out moms, but you have a bunch of dudes joining, something's not right in your messaging. So you got to fix that.
Yeah, for sure. And if you were starting a group in the CBD world, would you make it public or private?
Private, because if it's public, they don't actually have to request to join to see all the content.
That's right. Yeah, that's why my group is private. And and like Arnie is saying, audience. And so like even the moms group is a great example. Like you don't have to put CBD in the title of the group, and you're going to get members, and then you educate them on CBD and other healthy lifestyle tips and tips for moms, make PDFs, get the information out there, and then upsell them on subscription or get them onto the products and give out free samples, let people try it. And I always say that the more samples you give out, the more money you're going to make. And my buddy Big Dan proved it. He did over $1 million last year. And he said the reason why is because he was giving out samples because he listened to me. So it's all about that.
100%. If it's cool, I'll pop up on a screen share real quick. Check this out. So all I did was type in mom on Facebook. I went to the groups tab. And we got work from home mom and dads, 83,000 members. We got amazing deals and steals for moms, 77,000 members. So that might even be one that like maybe they have a partner program where you can sponsor it, or you can pay for a post, or maybe you can just post yourself. Yeah, deals for moms, 216,000 people. Like, all right, let's see. It's like, what's another kind of category that pops up often in CBD world? What's another good example of type of audience we can look for?
I think people that are stressed out. I don't know if that would be a good title.
All right, let's try it. Let's try stress.
Yeah.
Anxiety, addition to depression, 27,000. Anxiety, 33,000. How to deal with stress, 80,000.
Yeah.
Like
And you
all of those.
could approach these group owners, people, and team up with them and give them a commission on the sales, like give them an affiliate link and then promote with them. And a lot of them would be open to that. Hey, you want to make some money? Of course, everybody wants to make money.
Yeah.
And some of these group owners are overwhelmed and they just don't have the time to really police the group and moderate it. And so you could offer to help them with the group and, add your content in there. So there's a lot of different ways of partnering without having to buy the group outright.
Yeah. And one of the coolest strategies I saw for e-com growth actually was a buddy of mine. He has an e-com store where they sell like, deer hunting products, the hoodies, the hats, the this, the that, and the third. And what they did was they had individual groups for cities, states, counties. I think there's like over 50, over 100 of these groups by now, probably. And they're independently run by another moderator. Their only compensation is an affiliate link that they get to use. So imagine if you're just, deer hunting enthusiast, you're already moderating a group or something. And now just for the organization of that and the management of that, you might be making a few $100 a month or a few thousand in some of those bigger groups. If they're already doing it for free, they're already hobbyists, they're going to be happy to get paid and promote your stuff.
Yeah.
So there's so many ways to tap into other people's audiences here too, guys. It's not that you have to have a group, but you can partner like that too.
I like that. And yeah, that gave me an idea, like going back to the moms groups, if you wanted to start regionally, you could do like Illinois mothers group or something, something like that, or Midwest group, and then do a one for the West Coast and the East Coast if you wanted to do that. Like, so there's just so many options and opportunities, but you have to know your audience and know what they want to make it correct. And so like my partner Aaron, he built a brand called Monk, took it from 0 to 15 million in a few years. And I asked him, how did you do it? He said, I was completely obsessed with my audience. And that's what you got to do. You got to deliver for that audience. And that's how you'll be able to build a effective group. And knowing your audience will tell you if you should do it regionally or not. And so that's just up to you when you're building your brand. And then one last question. So what are some other ways a CBD brand can monetize their group besides just selling products?
Yeah, so there's, of course, a few ways to monetize, but want to stress to you guys again, the importance of grabbing those emails. Like, as we've seen, people are getting kicked off of Facebook. People are getting shadow banned. People are having all kinds of problems. And if all you have is a group there, that can get taken away in a day. The same way where it's very difficult for you guys to advertise with paid ads and not get blocked out without hiring Matt. Of course, you can solve all that. But the same way that that's a problem, building your backups of email and phone numbers. I can't stress this enough. I say this every time I talk about this topic. Build your defense plan, guys, because stuff gets screwy. Reach drops. You might get kicked off. So make that a true priority. And those phone numbers are going to be game changer too. Because, it's so powerful when, you or somebody on your team can literally call through your customer list and just talk to people. Like, people.
Exactly.
Pick up the phone and call somebody and ask them how they're doing, see how they can help.
Yeah, text marketing is getting huge in the CBD world. So you get all those numbers. Like in my group, the 3 questions I ask is email, number 1, phone number, number 2, and are you interested in white label or merchant accounts? Because I have deals with people that are in those, in that area, and I send my leads to them. And so, yeah, that's like definitely get their email and phone number, I would say.
Yep. 100%. And for other types of monetization, you guys can get real creative with this. We've seen, the same way that you guys might want to be approaching other groups for affiliate partnerships. Maybe somebody, same way you're doing with the merchant processor or whatever else. You can have those partners in your group as well. Something you don't do, something that's complementary, that can give you a nice little income stream there.
Even with the mothers group idea, like you could get somebody who coaches mothers and team up with them and get a commission by sending them leads or closed accounts. And so options with
100%. And there's so many different ways that you can monetize an audience. Everything from events to digital products. You can launch a little course or an ebook or all kinds of things that just helps people get an extra piece of value that they're going to be happy to pay for. The most important part in doing that is what I call audience co-creation. So for example, if I wanted to launch, let's say, a new program, I'm not just going to, sit in my room and build a whole program and then say, hey, I got this program one day. I'm going to say like, hey, what do you guys want? What topics really matter most? Where are you stuck? What do you think of this title? What do you think about this module? What do you think about that? And then as you're going step by steps, they are creating it with you. And by the time it's ready, it's exactly what they wanted. So that's the most important part of all of this, guys, is being able to tap into your audience for that. Big corporations pay millions, billions of dollars a year in audience research. They get a bunch of test subjects out to some facility and have a bunch of scientists, go through all these tests. You can do these tests yourself with Facebook polls for free and then get paid for doing it.
I love it. And that's exactly what we do with our mastermind programs. We ask our audience, where are you stuck? What is your challenges? And then we build our programs off of that exactly. And we're able to close people through Messenger on a $5,000 program without even talking to them, because I've built the trust up and I've built that audience and given them valuable content for free. So they know, hey, if I give this guy $5,000, he's probably going to give me some really valuable tips. And we do. And so it's about building that trust with your audience. And I think also a lot of CBD brand owners, all I do is work with CBD brands. A lot of the owners are afraid to promote their personal brand, but I feel like that's so important with the CBD company. You got to put yourself out there. It's bigger than you. Don't worry about your ego and what people are going to think. You got to be the face of it, in my opinion, and really work on your personal brand. And because if people look up to you and like, wow, this person's amazing, I want to buy their products, it's just a no-brainer at that point.
Yeah, and that really makes all the difference, because can't go into the full breakdown with you guys on some more of these mechanics of growth, engagement, all of that, but I will tell you this: storytelling will make all of the difference, because there's a million people out there doing something similar than you, and the best way to stand out, hands down, is telling stories. Because the more of those stories you can tell, the more people are actually going to remember you. If I just came on here and told you guys some Facebook tips, you wouldn't remember me. But maybe you remember that I used to ride around on a giant tricycle for 20 bucks a ride in Seattle. That might stand out a little bit better. So always try and think of, how you can infuse your own personality, your stories. And the easiest way, because a lot of people, I don't know what to post, I don't have time to create content. Document stuff. Are you doing something cool? Did you just get a new shipment in? Is it some exciting product? Are you giving a shout out to one of your team members? What is it? Just document what's going on, and it will be super fast. That's my best tip for you guys on creating more content.
That's awesome. I love it, Arnie. And follow Arnie Giske on Facebook, because you're really good at it as well. Like, you travel a lot around the world and you're always in these amazing places in Latin America and stuff. And I'm like, man, this is awesome. I kind of live vicariously through you, even though I love where I live in San Diego. I'm not complaining, but it's like really fun watching your life, and you share all that, and it makes people trust you more because of that. And that's your personal brand, and you do amazing at it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're just a real person, man. Like, there's so many bullshit marketers out there. It's just like my skin crawl, and you're just a real giving real value, and you're in that top 5%, man. And I really appreciate you coming on. And people, if you're opening a group and you don't have group funnels, you're just doing it wrong. Like, so is it groupfunnels.com?
Yep.
Cool. So just go on there immediately as soon as you get your group going and get group funnels. It's like the most valuable software. And check out groupsforprofit.com/ebook. That's going to be super valuable, worth way more than the $7 that Arnie's asking for. And so there you have it. People join the millennial entrepreneur community as well. And I'm sure Arnie's always willing to help if you need help with buy his programs, and you'll probably have enough information to keep you busy for a long time.
Yep. Yeah, get to it, guys. You know, show up for a community, really build it for the long run. No, this isn't just something that, you know, is going to pop up overnight, make you a bunch of money. Really tie it in with something that you're going to commit to, or else it's going to be a whole lot of work for not a whole lot of reward. You got to hit that tipping point. Like I said, you know, the growth skyrockets when you hit that tipping point. So does the dollars in from the group. So be in it for the long run, show up for your people, and you never know what doors are going to fly open for you.
That's for sure, man. And thanks again, Arnie. And hopefully we'll have you on again sometimes in the future, because there's always new developments with groups and things like that. And so really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're a busy man, and we'll see you again next time.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm happy to help. And yeah, I might pop into the group there and just do like a Q&A thread or something, if that's cool. Just do a little follow-up. You know, people watch this, they're probably, oh, what about this? What about that? So yeah, after it goes up, I'll pop in there and see if you guys need help with anything else.
Cool. That's really nice of you, man. And I'm going to have my partner Stephanie upload it, because like I said, I'm not the techie guy. So Stephanie will get the video uploaded. And once that's done, I'll ping you and we can get into the group.
Cool. Let's do it.
Thanks again, Arnie. Appreciate you.
For sure. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir.